Um, and I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. Good to see so many folks coming along. Uh, quite a lot, quite a lot of folks are pretty regular here, and plenty of people who are not. It's always good to see newcomers to these classes. I am particularly delighted that Ajahn Barry is joining us today. And while you've been kept out of joining the meeting, we've been talking about his plans. As you know, he's based in Spain. He's zooming in from Spain this evening, but he will be visiting the UK in February, and as well as his usual uh, last Thursday in February slot, he's also going to be available on the 16th, not just zooming in from Spain as usual, but live at the Buddhist Society on the 16th and the 23rd. Ajahn Barry will be leading the class, and it will be hybrid. So if you can get to London, if you live in London and you'd like to come along to 58 Eccleston Square behind Victoria Station and meet and sit with Ajahn Barry, please do so. Please do so. And if for some reason you're on another continent, pretty good reason, you can't, the class will be on Zoom as it is now. So that is very good news. That's absolutely excellent news. Back to this evening. Ajahn Barry will tell you about how he sees the class happening. There will be, whatever else happens, there'll be an opportunity for discussion, chat, whatever, questions even, and even maybe some answers at the end of things. But meanwhile, do please send through any questions by chat if you'd like to do that. I'll keep an eye on, I'll keep an eye on my chat box. And Wongdu, who's very kindly running the IT this evening, will do the same. And so if anybody send a message through by chat, please do so, and I will endeavor to pass them on to Ajahn Barry. So that's more than enough from me. I think we're going to enjoy the class. Thank you very much, Barry, for leading us this evening, and over to you.
Thank you, Colin. And my gratitude to the Buddhist Society for helping these things to happen. It's good to see our 35 people I've got on my participants. It's excellent. And already I can see a lot of faces that seem to be in my other classes, other meetings, which is nice. For those who haven't sat with me before, I'll say the same thing now, and I'll carry on saying the same thing that I say in every meeting. But I don't teach. I suggest, I point, hopefully through my own experience. So I'm not into quoting teachers or scripture, but actually experiencing this for yourself. So through the practice of mindfulness, and my interpretation of mindfulness is slightly different from what you often hear, because often it will be, and obviously it has to start off this way. I am doing this. I am cleaning my teeth. I am drinking my tea. I am walking slowly. But this is, to me, this is self-consciousness. But if we truly look when we're doing this practice of being with what we're doing, being in the present moment, we see that there's an opportunity to see our true nature, the way it is, our mind before or prior to the thinking process, prior to our conditioning, our habits, our patterns. Before all this arises, there is a place that is perfectly at peace. And much to people's surprise, it's able to take part in society just as we normally do, more efficiently probably, but with clarity. With clarity. And also that clarity gives us the opportunity to see the Buddhist teachings, if we're really into Buddhism or any other way. We can see the teachings not from my views and opinions, not me grasping at them, not me agreeing or disagreeing with them, but from that place of clarity. So generally I lead a guided, especially the first half, the first period of meditation, a guided sweeping meditation, suggesting you look at particular parts of the body, being in the present moment, and hopefully noticing that when we are aware, now this is not about concentration, it's about open awareness. When we notice that present moment awareness, we see that place before thinking. But we don't generally trust it because we're basically control freaks. We've spent all of our lives being conditioned by everything, by our parents, by our teachers, by society, into living from views and opinions, not living in the present moment of clarity, living from a place of the intellect, not from the place of intuition. Not that there's anything wrong with the intellect at all, but the problem is it's taken over completely. And now we no longer trust our intuition because we seem to want to control everything. So finding that place. So when I suggest to be aware of the head or the back of the head or parts of the body, it's not actually about the part of the body. It's about moving the attention, and then we have the opportunity to see that place, to know that place. I find it better to move our attention this way, because if we try and sit here and be with that open, spacious place, it generally, the mind will just carry us away pretty quickly. So through moving our attention, moving our awareness, we get to know that place more and more. We get to trust that place. And most importantly, we keep re-establishing that awareness. So especially in this meeting, in this class, but most importantly, when the class is finished, we take it with us. We notice there really is no reason we cannot be aware or mindful in any position or situation. Whether running, walking, working, talking, singing, we can always be aware, using the body, using the breath, using the sound of silence. Getting to know this, getting to trust it. And we do need to get to trust it because basically we don't. We think we have to do something. I'll just do a small introductory chant, paying respects to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and then we'll do 20-25 minutes of meditation. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhanam sangham namasami. So sitting in a posture that's ideally it's upright, but it's not essential. We sit in ways that the body reminds us when the mind starts to wander. It starts to wobble, our hands fall apart, we start to nod off asleep. It helps with that awareness, but this is an ideal, and not everybody can sit in an upright position on a cushion. A chair's just as fine, and a sofa is just as fine. Anything, because what I've said earlier, it's about taking into your life, ordinary life, and that is even from the Buddha's teaching, standing, walking, and sitting and lying down are the 4 postures of meditation. But that includes everything in between. So sitting in that posture, which I think most of you are pretty experienced. If not experienced, just be with this awareness. Just notice. If I ask you now, without thinking, to be aware of, say, your backside on the seat, your hands or your feet. If you are aware in that moment, how is your mind? How is your heart mind in that very moment? Without thinking about it. Is there a problem? I've never met anybody who can tell me there is a problem. Is there something that could be improved? Can you find a separate self? I've never met anybody who can, without them projecting a thought onto this. But the mind is quiet, open, and aware. So ideally, I talk in ideals, but obviously whatever you're used to, the eyes slitted. If they're closed completely, we tend to go off into dreams quite easily. But again, whatever suits you. Ideally, hands together in the Buddhist mudra, as against the yoga mudra of hands on the legs, palms facing up. And just notice. Just be aware from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. Aware of that peaceful, open awareness. There's nothing to get here. There's nothing to gain. There's nobody to become anything. We don't have to pass a test. We don't have to become a Buddha. We don't have to become anything. We just see how our heart truly is. So becoming aware of the breathing, just the gentle, normal breathing, not following the breath, just gently breathing without interfering at all. And perhaps listening. If you practice with the sound of silence, listen to that sound of silence. Now becoming aware of the head, the top of the head. So say you don't project pictures if you cannot be aware of the top of the head or any part of the body. It's really irrelevant. But what is important is that we can see how the mind ceases in that moment, how it stops in that open, spacious awareness. Now becoming aware of the back of the head. And the sides of the head. The temples, the ears, the earlobes. What happens when you direct your attention to your earlobes? I cannot be aware of my earlobes, but I can be aware of that peaceful, open, spacious awareness. I can be that spacious awareness. Now become aware of the forehead, and the eyebrows, and the eyes, and the nose, the nostrils, the lips, the tongue, and inside the mouth. Not projecting pictures or thoughts, just being aware, nothing more. Being aware of the chin and the jaw and the cheeks of the face. Now bringing the whole of your head and the face into that open, spacious awareness. Now becoming aware of the neck and the throat. And the shoulders, When the mind wanders, which is its nature, it's divisive by nature, just gently, with loving kindness, just come back without comment, without judgment. Come back to the present moment and notice. So becoming aware of the arms, the upper arms to the elbows, from the shoulders to the elbows. From the elbows down to the wrists. And the hands, the palms of the hands, the fingers, the thumbs, the backs of the hands, the knuckles, the joints of the fingers. The tips of the fingers and the fingernails. Again, what happens to your mind, to your heart mind? When you are aware of your fingernails, which I cannot be, but I can be aware of that quiet, open, spacious awareness. Now bringing into your awareness your hands, your arms, the shoulders, the neck, the head and the face. Now becoming aware of the back, from the shoulders down the back, down through the shoulder blades, the sides of the trunk, down the spine, the arch of the back. Just noticing any sensations, any feelings. Don't comment on them, just be aware without grasping. The lower back, the coccyx, the buttocks, and the hips. Now becoming aware of the chest, let that awareness spread down the chest, through the rib cage, the diaphragm, the stomach, the belly, the navel, intestines, the groin, and the hips. Now bring into your awareness the whole of the body, the back, the front of the body, the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the neck, the face and the head. Nothing to do, just to be that awareness. Getting to trust that awareness. Now becoming aware of the legs, the upper legs, from the hips down to the knees. The top of the legs, the back of the legs, the sides of the legs. And from the knees down to the ankles. Now becoming aware of the feet, the heels of the feet, the soles of the feet, the arches, the balls of the feet, the toes, the tops of the feet, the joints of the toes, the tips of the toes, and the toenails. Just noticing, just being that place of awareness. There's nothing here that we need to do other than be aware. Now being aware of the breath, as I said, just the natural breathing without interfering, without following, just the breath being in that place of open, spacious awareness. or listening, not to outside sounds. If outside sounds do intrude, just don't interfere with them. Don't go out to them. Just let them come and they go. They stop without judging them. Being aware of the whole body from the tips of the toes, the top of the head, and the breathing, and the listening. And seeing how it is without thinking, but just the way it is, without any interference. So I'll ring the bell in a minute or so's time, but please do not think in terms of the meditation coming to an end. As I said at the start, everything is an opportunity to be aware and to notice. So just keeping that awareness going. The formal meditation is a way of building a foundation, rediscovering that place, getting to know it in a sense. But it's very important to take it into our ordinary everyday life. And there really is no reason not to. It doesn't take any extra. It doesn't take time. It costs nothing. Reminds me of a story of Ajahn Chah, when a farmer went to him and said, I don't have time to practice, to meditate, to be mindful. I have paddy fields to look after. I have buffalo to look after. I have children. I have a wife. I just don't have time. And Ajahn Chah said, well, do you have time to breathe? He said, of course I have time to breathe. He said, well, then you have time to practice. Because it's right here, right now. Buddhism is not about becoming something. It's not about being a better person. I mean, obviously that's included. It's a result of. But we cannot be a better person. We cannot be wise. We have to let go, and then wisdom arises. It's not about clasping, grasping. It's about opening the hand, allowing. It's not about denying our emotions. It's about knowing them from that place of true mindfulness, that open awareness. It's certainly not about repressing or suppressing. In a way, it's about opening to it, but not me opening to it. Just through knowing that place of open, spacious awareness, these things show themselves, but we don't fight them, we don't feed them, because we try and get rid of things we don't like. Well, that's feeding it. We try to hold on to things we like. That is feeding it. We just know them. We see them for what they are. And what we see, they're mind made. Of course, there are problems. So the lovely Indian saying that I like so much is pain is compulsory, but suffering from pain is optional. Suffering is compulsory, but suffering from suffering is optional, because it's about what we put on top of the way it is. Because we like to think we're cleverer. We don't trust this quiet, open, spacious, responsive place that we naturally have, so to speak. It's not a good way to put it, but it is the way it is. But we don't trust it because we're not used to it. So what I encourage here is getting to know that. And obviously, sitting here in this group, yes, we can discover it, but we need to take it outside. We need to, when we walk away from this group, or to be with that. And then you really start to see it's not denial. It's open. It can respond and not react, because it's coming from a place of clarity. If we sit for another period, I'll just give the occasional reminder, because minds tend to wander and we tend to get lost at times. So I'll give the occasional reminder. And then I very, very much encourage questions, just as any confusion over what I'm pointing at here. So again, sitting in whatever posture suits you. Maybe looking at the whole of the body, or maybe picking apart a particular part of the body. Awareness is awareness. So whether it's the whole of the body, a particular part of the body, whether you move your attention, that open, spacious attention, that's fine. Whether you are with different things at the same time, that's fine. Our job is, so to speak, is to realize, is to know that place of open, spacious awareness prior to our neurotic thinking mind. So just make a little determination just to use this time as a special time, just to get to know that place. So when the mind wanders, just very, very gently come back. Do not scold or beat yourself up, because that's just adding fuel to the fire. Just noticing sensations. No need to question them or wonder about them or try and stop them. So just re-establishing that awareness when the mind carries us away, using the body or the particular part of the body, or the breath, or the sound of silence. If there are feelings of discomfort in the body, there's no harm in moving, but first look at them, investigate them, so to speak. Look at them as in, what is that feeling? Is it mine? And then move, but don't just react, which is normally how we live our life. But respond. Just coming back when the mind wanders. Noticing that place of open, spacious awareness, in fact, bathing in it. It's not dull or stupid or dumb. It's open awareness. Maybe looking for the self, seeing if you can find a separate self from that place of awareness, of course. Not about thinking it out. Maybe looking at change, seeing everything, how everything changes. You cannot hold on to anything. Looking at suffering, seeing the causes of suffering. Placing seeds. Don't answer these questions, just know the question, and when the conditions are right, the answers will come. But not from my views and opinions, not from what I've been told by others, but from my own heart, from our intuitive nature. So remembering this isn't a dumb or stupid practice. way. Our awareness is more than capable of living without us interfering, or this separate egotistical self interfering. Because from that place, from our deluded mind, we're just totally biased. We cannot truly do good. We cannot truly help. On one level, yes, but on a more deeper level, it's me trying to do this. But from our open, spacious awareness, true wisdom can arise. Wisdom not of how to solve the world's problems or my problem or other people's problems, but wisdom of just knowing that place, knowing our true nature, knowing our true heart, our true intuition. So don't think in terms of when we, especially when we sit, meditate formally, of blanking out, just going into some dark space of concentration even. The trouble with concentration often is the moment the condition when the conditions aren't as we like them, then we're thrown all over the place again. But this is just trying to control the situation, trying to make the ideal situation for us to meditate. And that's why I'm so keen on taking this from here to our ordinary, everyday, every moment life. The more we remember, because that's all basically we can do, remember to come back, remembering to notice, the more normal and natural that will become, until it's our default nature. And we can truly start to understand suffering, not only of yourselves, but of others. You can truly help people, not in me helping them, but helping them in a genuine heart-to-heart way. Does anybody have any questions or anything to say? Comments, criticisms, whatever?
I think we all should be able to unmute if we want to. And of course, there's always the chat box.
I think there's one in there, but I've probably somebody saying goodbye. So look. Okay. It seems to be like a personal message. I can't quite work out who Steve is at the moment, but anyway. So there must be some query, question. Have you got anything to add, Colin, just to get the ball rolling?
No, I was just trying to see if I was able to see any chats. Well, I tell you what, if yes. Everybody. Well, look, somebody's put their hand up. Susie.
Okay, Susie, hi there.
Hello, good evening, Sangha.
I
did try to send a chat, but
yeah.
I don't think you got it. But
No.
I'll bravely ask the question.
Yeah.
I was wondering, open spatial awareness.
Spatial. Yeah.
Yes, you kept saying it. You have said it many, many times. And I was wondering, is it something, it feels like it's around us, outside us, or is it inside us?
It's both.
Okay.
You have to. I have to use words. We have to use words, and space contains everything. Everything is contained in space. This room I'm in, the room you're in, the world, the universe. It's all within space. So it's a way of this open, spacious awareness. So the mind actually, when we start to really find that place, is the same. It's just, see, it's nothing. Space is nothing in a sense. It contains everything, but it's no thing. And it's the same when we find that place in our true heart, in our true mind, so to speak. It's just open. You can't grasp it. You can't get hold of it because it's nothing. You can't grasp space.
Mm.
And the mind is like that. And of course we don't trust it initially because it's nothing. That nothing, it contains everything. I know this is all sounding a bit. Do you get what I'm trying to say here?
Yes, I do get what you're saying. I'm wondering, is it a feeling then? Is it a feeling?
It's as Luang Por Sumedho says, it's a knowing that cannot be known.
Okay.
You cannot grasp it, you see. It's just a knowing at that time.
Yes.
Of open spacious awareness.
Yes.
Okay. You can't put it in words.
No.
Because if you could put it in words, we'd grasp it, we'd grab it, and then we would ruin it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
I used to be in the 70s with a teacher called Firoz Mehta, a brilliant, wise Indian man in London, and he used to tell a little story, a little sort of semi-joke. God and his friend on a Sunday afternoon are out walking in the park, and they're walking along, chatting away, and suddenly God's friend looks up in front, and there's the devil. So he says to God, can you see who's in front? Can you see who's in front? It's the devil. He says, yeah, don't take any notice of him. It's all right, just leave him. And they carry on for a while longer, and suddenly the devil swoops down and picks something up. So God's friend says to God, did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah, it's okay. No, did you see it? What did he pick up? He said, oh, he only picked up a bit of truth, but he will only try and use it for it. See, we grab things, we grasp them, we try and use them for our own, to improve or get rid of, instead of just being, not using it, just being open to it.
Mm.
I'm not sure I told that particularly well, but hopefully you get the essence of the gist of what I'm trying to put over.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And we cannot grasp this space, which is the difficult.
Do we know when we are there? Do we know?
Yes,
okay.
But not from a separate. There just is.
Is in a freedom way. Right. Are we free?
You sitting on a chair?
Yes.
Okay, can you feel your backside on the chair?
Yes.
Yeah. And when you feel that, how is, without thinking, without commenting, how's your mind in that moment, to use that term mind? How is it in that very moment? Without thinking.
Without thinking.
Just feeling that feeling.
Yes.
What happens to your mind?
It directly goes there.
Without just that awareness. For instance, my experience of being that is there cannot be thought when there is awareness. There's just openness. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It's just that openness. So you're not actually concentrating on the sensation.
No.
There's just that awareness of it. But the important thing of what I'm always trying to get at here is to notice how the mind, how our mindfulness, how our consciousness is in that moment. That's the important thing, because generally we dismiss it because it's nothing. It's just space. We dismiss it because we're all control freaks. We like to make it all, control everything.
That is how I felt, that I went into space. That's how I felt. But then you were saying to look at parts of my body, and I couldn't feel my body. My body wasn't there.
Absolutely.
So I had to imagine thinking about my body. But in myself, I was in space.
Wonderful. Don't worry about don't project or imagine. Yes, oftentimes the body might disappear.
Yes, that's what happened.
Not literally.
No.
But because we're just awareness. So I might say, be aware of the head.
Yes.
Well, I can't generally be aware of I'm not aware of my head, but I can be aware of that space. And sometimes everything disappears.
Yes.
Not in a dumb or stupid or blanking out way.
No.
But just into that awareness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Just stick with it.
I've got a question's come through in chat, Ajahn Barry. Meditation's excellent.
Yeah.
I suffer from arthritis in both knees. Is it a good idea to center on the pain as a means of promoting awareness?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the extent of your arthritis. I have arthritis in my knees. So, after a while, they get pretty uncomfortable. That has been a very good thing in some ways, because, and I'm not in any way advocating self-flagellation here, putting yourself through extra pain or suffering. But it can anchor the mind, so to speak. What I do is what I suggested during the meditation is I'll look at that, okay, I'll ask myself internally, this is, what is that feeling? What is it? I really look at it. What is that feeling? And then, is it mine? And then if it looks as if it's damaging or it's becoming harmful in any way, move. Just change your position. But don't react to it. Don't just move and say, oh, this is terrible. Investigate it first. Look at it. Open up to it. But as I say, not reacting, but responding. I don't know if that helps whoever was asking that question. I hope it does. That's what I do, is just to look at those feelings and investigate them. And oftentimes, once I stop complaining, stop trying to get away from it, from that feeling, it sometimes even disappears. But you can't make a deal in the Dhamma to make it disappear, or by doing this practice it will go, because that's just, again, denying a fact. And also a lot of the, because it's sankharas, it's what we add on top of our suffering. So generally, even medics will tell you that 20% of pain is real, and the other 80% is what we add on top of it with the mind. So, these are not hard and fast things, but it's worth just looking, just investigating them. Any more chats there, Colin?
Not yet, but anything would be welcome. I've got one for you. How about that?
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, make it easy.
Well, everybody, I think it is actually, but everybody's doing mindfulness these days, right? You can get mindful coloring books. And mindfulness is practiced in business and in the US Armed Forces. And absolutely everybody is doing it. And I was even at a little group this morning in the local Baptist church here, and Christians are being mindful. And I guess my question is this. Here we are at the Buddhist Society, or virtually at the Buddhist Society. We're all doing a version of this practice called mindfulness. What's the difference? If there is any difference, and there may not be any difference, what's the difference between mindfulness, Buddhist mindfulness,
and mindfulness,
and the rest?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, and it's obviously it's a generalization, I don't know, but I would say that, yeah, mindfulness as practiced in these various ways, it can be very helpful. But I think Buddhist mindfulness is slightly different, as in it's not about self-improvement, whereas most mindfulness practices are about self-improvement or getting away from problems or becoming better. And I think that's the difference. Buddhism is about letting go. It's about seeing our true nature, our heart, or our Buddha nature. So I don't know if you would go along with that, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think you've already answered the question. It's like, when was it Susie? Susie asked about whether this awareness thing is inside us or outside of us. The whole of this practice seems to point to it just being there, and everything we experience is within it. In other words, it's within and outside is not really the issue. It's like it's there, and what we experience is within consciousness. If you want to use another word, consciousness, I guess. And I think that probably is a sort of a distinctive aspect of mindfulness. I mean, I think it's great that people are using mindfulness for therapeutic reasons. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
It is. Really yeah.
The objective is not to be anxious or not to be depressed or whatever. And it's like this. This is sort of a cliche, isn't it? As people talk about, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, you know, or do you want to get off altogether?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't got any more questions in chat yet, but please either unmute and fire away with some comment or not. Yes.
All right, Meg is just saying goodbye.
Hi.
Hi there. Hi, Julia.
Hi. Hello. Thank you very much. I just wondered, what are your scrolls behind you? Can you explain those to us a little bit, please?
It's quite difficult. I've had a lot of difficulty finding out about them. I've sort of had a couple of experts. I mean, they're Mahayanist, they're Japanese. I thought they were Chinese at first, and they've got Chinese calligraphy on the back. But I'm told by some experts, no, they're about 18th century, and the monk who painted them was an educated monk who in Japan who spoke Chinese, because they spoke Chinese in the monastic setups in those days. And they're musical, they're all playing some sort of musical instrument with the Buddha. I'm just waffling here because I don't know that much. In fact, I'm taking them to London. Part of the reason I'm going to be in England is I'm going to take them there for them to be identified properly, because I'm fascinated. It's part of 3. I've only got 2, but it's from a group of 3. I don't know where
They're very beautiful.
They are lovely. They're exquisite when you see them close up. They're amazing. Yeah.
I wondered, because there seem to be 12 characters. Is it something like 12 linked dependent chain of origination, or something to do with that? Are they somehow representing that?
It sounds good to me. We could go along with that one. I don't know.
They're lovely, really lovely. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure.
Well,
we're getting close. Can I just say, I truly believe that if we are persistent and consistent with this simple practice, so to speak, this simple remembering, this simple knowing, this simple looking at Buddhism, the doctrinal part of Buddhism, as planting seeds instead of grasping these things and thinking they're truths. No, see them as seeds and they will germinate at the right time. So I truly believe through my own practice that this really will have, again, words are so bad here, will have benefits, will open us up for a more peaceful, content, wise life. So all I can say is, please keep it simple, and please be consistent and persistent with whatever that practice and whatever helps, using the body, sweeping the body meditation, being with one thing. When you go to bed at night, just scan through the body, just lie there, scan through, become aware. When you wake up in the morning, the mind starts to click in, just scan through again, just re-establish that. When you get a chance to at work or whatever you're doing, even go to the loo. Take a minute or so just to re-establish that awareness. When you're talking to the boss, when you're having a row with your partner, just be aware of your feet. Just be with a part of the body. See, the body can't lie. The mind will always trick us. We're just puppets. Play, with Mara pulling the strings of our conditioning. So just stick with it, and I sincerely hope that it bears fruit. So take care, everyone.